Good.
Reunited and it feels so good. We're back.
We are in the flesh.
We are in the flesh. Light. We've got some car stuff we're going to talk about today.
Oh, that's different.
I know what's new. What is new? You know what's new, and we'll just throw it before we jump into what we want to talk about. We started talking about, and you just mentioned real quick while we were gearing all this up. You got a car that's for sale, and by the time this all goes live to the masses, it will have ended. It hasn't ended yet. We got about 25-ish hours.
Yep.
Plus some overtime. I'm sure it's going to go in a little bit of overtime. People get a bid on it.
Yeah.
What are you hawking? What's going to go?
So yeah, I did a review on my channel, the Auto Obsessive Garage. It's a 1988 Dodge Daytona Shelby Z.
Shelby Z.
Super rare car to find nowadays, and a pretty cool, rad all-around car.
Yeah,
so
that thing's cool.
Good backstory too. One owner, California its whole life. Unbelievable.
I still can't get over the interior.
It's
like the whole car is relatively impeccable.
Really,
that interior is just because they didn't hold up. But that one is, you can tell someone cared for it, and it's cool.
Had to have, yeah, because that leather, I mean, it still feels good, it still looks great, and everything in the interior.
Should we put our prediction hat on? Should we try and figure out where it's going to end at the drop of the hammer?
We can. Well, you've got way more familiarity. I mean, this is like obviously a car
with the site, but
yeah,
not necessarily with the car. There's like no comps.
There's no baseline. So, what are you thinking, man?
I think it's going to close at, I'm going to say, dude, it can go anywhere. I'm going to say 8801.
Oh,
8801.
88?
8801.
At the time of this recording, the car is live on Cars and Bids. Like we said, another 24 hours to go or so, possibly overtime. It's at 7 right now.
Currently, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
8801?
Yeah, I almost went more than that, but I'm gonna say 8801 because it's getting a lot of positive attention, which is good. But you never know. You never know with these things.
So it is the first car they said that they had on Cars and Bids, so that's kind of historical.
That's right.
So I'm thinking I'm going to be more down to earth.
Oh boy. Okay.
So I'm going to say 78.
78.
I think it's going to kind of keep it down a little bit. Okay. Yeah. I want it to be more. I'd love to see 9, but
yeah.
What it's actually worth, probably more than that to the person looking for it, because if this is a car you want to buy right now,
that's
like,
it.
I don't think, how many more years will you wait till maybe another one comes out of hiding?
And they're not making more. They're not aging. They're not reverse aging. There's no automotive Benjamin Button with this thing. It's like get it now while you can.
Yeah,
you're not going to find another one.
The interiors aren't going backwards in time and fixing themselves.
Right.
The paint isn't coming back, and for a totally original, mostly one-owner car, its entire life.
I hope we're both wrong, and I hope it crests 10.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm going 8801.
That's good. 78. So we'll see. Hopefully you win, sir.
If I win, then we both win.
Yeah, exactly.
Very good. Well, we kind of went off script there.
That's what we did.
What did you came up with some ideas of kind of what you wanted to talk about today? What's on the docket, my friend?
So on this episode of another Pointless Automotive podcast, I kind of want to dig into our roots of why we're talking about cars on a podcast. Why are we surrounded with weird cars all the time?
Sure.
Why can't we get enough of it? And so that's kind of the root subject matter for this episode is cars. Why do we love them so much?
Mm-hmm.
Why are we obsessed?
Yeah.
So I kind of want to explore, and I'm sure we each have like different backgrounds, what led us into our love for cars, but I'm just going to do that. I want to kick it off to you first, Frank. Okay. I kind of broke it down. You know me. I'm a big subcategory guy.
You are,
yes. Down, for reasons why I like cars, but open mic, anything at all is acceptable.
Oh boy. Am I going to try some stand-up or like start serenading you? We kind of let off with that. So another day we'll have like karaoke.
Yeah, I haven't installed the dancing pole yet, so you're going to have to hold back some of your special moves.
Exactly, yeah. When I bang down, flip it, and reverse it. But we've got... I just kind of threw a bunch of stuff at the wall here. I just threw some notes and really just like as a kid, kind of thinking about really pinning it down because I don't have like an honest answer as far as like it's like here's like the seminal moment where I got into cars. I have some key moments that kind of were part of the deal, but it's not like a one thing. But I just remember, maybe it was just bored road trips in the back of my dad's '79 Accord hatch or the 82 Celica GTS that my mom had forever when we were kids, you know, growing up. Because those are the cars I grew up in. And I think a lot of that alone, I think, shapes some of what people, and myself included in this, are ultimately interested in when it comes to specific cars, like the weird stuff or whatever.
Right.
But as far as what actually, you know, got me into cars in general, you know, I don't know. I don't know if it was just, as I said, being in the back of a car and looking at other cars and seeing what's interesting and not. I mean, this is the pre-smartphone, hand a kid an iPad era, right?
Sure,
like this is, you're stuck in the car seat, you're driving from here to there, and you gotta figure something to do, and looking out the windows is as best you're gonna get. Either that or arguing with my brother in the back seat. So
true.
Giving me the options. But you know, I still have a massive Hot Wheels collection. That's not mine now, but now it's my son's, and my mom had hung on to them forever, and so he plays with them, and they're all banged up and smashed up and chipped up.
As they should be, yeah.
Exactly, yeah. I wasn't the kid that kept them in a package. I would tear them open and just play with them all over the place. And so, you know, whether it's that or building the little Tamiya model cars.
Oh, right, yeah.
As a kid, you know, I would do that all the time. You know, there was a little independent hobby shop called BG Hobby that was by me in Pleasant Hill forever. And growing up as a kid, we'd go there. You know, I'd beg my dad to go there probably at least once a week, and we'd probably get there maybe once a month. But yeah, buy little model cars and build them, and try and figure out like what color am I going to paint it, and buy the right paint, spray paint, do all the stuff, and get high off of the little contact cement.
Oh, the good stuff.
Yeah, the super toxic, like hyper dangerous clear one that like eats your fingers. So you know, a lot of that, you know, and then a little bit later, some of the video games. Some of the video games I would play, you know, Sega Rally Championship.
Yes, sir.
The original Need for Speed.
Yep.
I remember specifically. So the original Need for Speed, you had. I'm trying to remember all the full car lineup. You had the FDRX7.
Yep.
You had the Mark IV Supra Turbo.
And then it got the exotics, was the kind of high-end cars in that game.
Yeah. So
right.
you had. Because you can kind of play as any of them, and so they had the ZR1, the C4 ZR1 you can get.
Carrera GT was in there, right? One of those.
That was the later one.
Okay, gotcha.
So this original one I think came out in like
late 90s.
It was I think it was like 95.
Was it that?
It was earlier.
PS
I had it on PC. I had it on PC.
Okay, oh, easy guy.
I know, right? And so yeah, you know, you had NSX, you had the. You know what? I think you got the 964.
That makes sense.
Turbo.
Yep.
So not even the 993. The 964.
Probably had the Diablo in there.
The Diablo was like, that was the big dollar car. Was the Diablo, the early Viper, and the Testarossa, the 512 TR.
Yep.
And so I remember just playing those games, and I remember specifically, and this is one of those little seminal moments, because like I knew cars, but like I was, 12, 13 maybe. And so I didn't necessarily, I knew some cars were cool, I knew I liked some cars, I knew some cars were cooler than others. But I remember there was like a little blurb, so on each car there was like an infographic thing, because at the time it was sponsored I think by Road and Track. It was like Road and Track presents Need for Speed.
Yep.
And so there was almost like each car, you would click on it and it would be like the history and prior models of it. And I remember on the Supra, if you click on it and it gives you the little infographic and it had pictures of like the first gen and the second gen and the third gen and then the fourth gen, and it had all the breakdown in the history.
Right.
It had a white Mark II Supra. And my mom had the white Celica GTS, the same flares and the whole thing. And I was like, wait a minute, like somehow it didn't dawn on me that like my mom's car was cool, because it's just my mom's car, right? Like I liked it, but I didn't, and so that was like affirmation, like, oh, not only like is this a thing, like my mom's car sort of is in a video game, sort of, and it's just like, it was this whole thing, like these things are attainable, these things I can have.
Yep.
And so, you know, whether it was that, and then later, you know, Gran Turismo 3, still maybe the greatest
so good
video racing game of all time. You know, and so I think that was a lot of it. I remember as a kid being the kid that like my friends would be like, they'd play games with me, be like, hey, see that car way far away? What is it? And then you'd see just the headlights at night or something, and it'd be getting closer, and then we'd squint, and oh, it's one of these, and then it'd drive by, and sure enough, it'd be one of those. How did you do that?
Right.
You know, it was like this whole deal. And then the other thing I remember specifically that helped feed the beast, so to speak, and feed the obsession was when my mom was replacing her 82 Celica. She was like, hey, you're whatever, it was like 12 or 13 or whatever. This would have been 97. So yeah, I would have been 13 going on 14. And so, because her car got rear-ended and it was totaled out, but she kept it. And then a couple years later, like the headlights stopped working. You can only drive with the high beams on, and like just a bunch of little ticky-tack stuff. She's like, I finally got to get a new car.
Did you use a Need for Speed to kind of pitch your next car? You're like,
sort of.
Mom, I need you to look at the top speed rating.
They call this the RT10.
Yeah.
And
if you want to stay domestic, we can go with that. But I also understand if you want to celebrate with a Diablo, I
know there's no back seat. However, I'm willing to sacrifice some of my own comfort. I actually did try to pull that off a little bit because I tried to talk her into a brand new Mark IV Supra.
Oh boy.
At the time, she's like, oh, it's more money than I want to spend. And she says, you can't sit in that backseat. I was like, oh no, I'm fine. She's like, look at that backseat. You can't get in there. I'm like, no, it's fine.
You just hold your knees to your chest
and
kind of tuck in.
So she was looking to replace her Supra, and so that was my job. And so I got like way into like the OG like Edmunds.com website back in the day, and like going through all these different like forums and like magazines were still a thing that people purchased.
Oh yeah,
cars.
yeah.
And like just going absolute ham on like research and like you need to try this and this, and like that really got me into it. Like it kind of spurred it on for me to like, hey, you know, you got to do all this stuff. And so I remember we went to we test drove a 97 Celica GT. We drove a. She kind of wanted like a first gen RX-7 or RAV4, but it was more like she kind of also wanted something sporty too.
Is that a common cross shop bucket there?
Exactly.
RX-7, RAV4.
Yeah, and yeah. And so we did. Did I say RX-7?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, I meant CRX.
Okay.
Or not, sorry, CRV.
Okay, big difference.
Wildly different. But at the same time, we were looking at like Integras, and we looked at the Celica, and I'm trying to get. At the time, because I was a child and I didn't know any better, I thought like the then like Dodge Avenger. Was legit. I just liked the way it looked. I thought it was.
They
dope.
are the first one, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was like the Sebring. It was like the stablemate of the Sebring, but
yeah,
the first.
Basically a Mitsubishi, right?
Yeah, it was a V6, the 3-liter V6, and you get it with manual, and you get like had the big cladding and all that. And I was like, ooh, I kind of like the Avenger. And then and then we also looked at 2.5 RS. I was like, oh mom, you can get this in a sedan, and it's really cool, like with the gold wheels and everything. She just couldn't get over the gold wheels. She's like, I can't do the gold wheels.
That's a shame.
And I think in 97 would have been the 98 model year, because I remember we went to the San Francisco Auto Show at Moscone Center, and it was like in December, before Christmas, for the 98, late 97 to the 98 model year, and go around and going in everything, and me and her went. We would just poke through every nook and cranny of the cars and climb around and be like, okay, this or this or this. And yeah, I think in 98, I think maybe you can only get them with the gold wheels. I don't remember. It was quite some time ago. But I remember she's like, I can't do the gold wheels. And like, okay, well, what about a Legacy GT? And then she's like, I don't know how I would feel about Subaru. You know, like late 90s Subaru, it was like...
It was iffy, yeah.
You know, not the kind of brand recognition that they have now.
Didn't really have an enthusiast option at that time. The RS kind of...
SVX, but... Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was the whole thing. But I remember that really was probably, you know, I was in the cars before, but that really honed it, refined it down to, like, being really geeky about, like, numbers and specifics and what actual reviews are, and more than just paying attention to them because I thought they were interesting, and, like, really drilling down and being like, okay, how do I quantify why these are cool? And doing all that stuff and kind of really nerding out. And then it just kind of went from there, you know. Got my first car, the Barracuda, and all that. But I mean, that for me anyways. I don't know, you probably have there's probably some similarities, probably some differences on your end. What got you into this mess?
I mean, same general trajectory, you know, starting off big Hot Wheels guy too. Just collecting all the cars, and it was so cool. Like if I saw a car in real life, I'd go try to find that Hot Wheel model so I could add it to my stable for a fraction of the price. And back then it was a smaller fraction of the price.
Right.
But yeah, just in general, same thing when I was a kid. Just seeing like cool cars. Living through the 80s and 90s, there was so much like design that was off the wall, like, so different. The 80s were pretty boring at the beginning, and then things started to get weird. And then the 90s was also weird. So it was just, for being young and seeing these kind of cars, it was more exciting for me. You know, and then hearing like, my father and his generation saying, oh, these cars have no soul, they don't have any performance. And then in the 90s, they started to actually have, I mean, you could be argued late 80s, performance started to catch up. But yeah, in the 90s, all these, like the Japanese cars coming on the scene, right?
Really like the golden era.
Oh, it changed everything. It like really changed the script. Same with video games early on. So just really getting into that. And I remember it really got serious, when Gran Turismo came out, especially the PlayStation 2 era, and then Tokyo Extreme Racer. I don't know if you played these games.
I didn't really.
It was by Import Tuner, so we're speaking magazine. So it was like
full compact car, didn't get on the scene.
Yeah, no, it was they should have. It was street racing at night where you'd like flash your high beams and then you challenge people.
Oh, and so you would just like roll up on cars, like
flash
unsuspecting cars.
They would challenge you, and they had spirit meters. So if you were beating them by a lot, their spirit meter would go down. That's how you win.
Oh, so okay. Good. You just crush their spirit.
Yeah,
I love it.
There were car gangs.
Dude, there's got to be like, I'm sure there's a video on YouTube somewhere, somebody playing that game.
Oh, you bet. It's really popular. They made a few of them. They made one called Drift, which was like Initial D ripoff, where you go up in the mountains and you find people parked and you race them. Yeah. And they had a Galant VR4 in it, which I thought was the most hilarious thing.
Did it allow you to understeer off a cliff?
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, how does this drift and you have a Galant VR4 anyway? Like, and the roster was small. It wasn't like Gran Turismo. I'm like, how did this car make some devoted fan must have snuck it in there.
Or maybe, or Mitsubishi like managed to like grease the skids there a little bit.
But this was like 2000s,
it was like long out production.
Yeah, I don't know. Ridiculousness. But anyway, same thing. Like that's what really opened my eyes. That's probably why I'm more into like the JDM stuff. Is like because those kind of Gran Turismo was heavily focused on Japanese stuff. Same with that, obviously Tokyo Extreme Racer. But just always being into cars like that, and I've always liked the weird cars that kind of stand out because there's a difference between I'm trying to think like a bunch of Corollas are rolling by or Camrys, and then you see like a Cobra Mustang from the 80s roll by, and it just looks like this completely different thing. And then in the 90s you had you see like a 300ZX twin turbo next to like a Cutlass Sierra, and it's
looks like a straight up spaceship.
Yeah, what is that? The same year they were made, right? Yeah. So I always thought that was cool. The design of cars really got me, and as I got older, I kind of became more obsessed with them because I love driving. I've always been a big fan of driving, whether it be like racing, like go-karting, any form of racing I've always been really into. We used to have three-wheelers when I was growing up, so a lot of spills there, so racing around on those. And we used to take old lawnmowers and take them down to the sand pit and race down there. Okay. So not really high speed, but definitely high danger level. So
exactly. Did you like pick the blades off of them?
Yeah. Okay. For the non-combat games we played.
Right, exactly. Yes.
But no, I've always loved driving like that. So just getting into cars and like just the driving aspect in general, like not so much as even when I was learning to love cars, but now it's like whether I'm on a track, I'm driving on like a coastal road with the roof down, or I'm just cruising somewhere special. The occasion that a car brings to the table that it makes it feel so much special, more special than just getting in your A to B car. I just think that's cool. That's one of my favorite things about the automobile world is how it makes you feel.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. And I think, it's funny because I personally didn't, I guess that obviously comes later, right?
Yeah,
it's the driving part, because it's just like, for me, it's like I was super into cars and interested in cars, and I remember getting my first car. So I got my Barracuda before I had my license.
Yep.
So it literally, for the first couple of months I owned it, it was just sat in the driveway, and I remember going out there. It had a tape deck in it. Yeah. Going out there, pop the dope light on, go in there, just close the door, sit in there by myself, put a tape in the tape deck,
put rad in,
listen to music,
listen to
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. What else? What was their other song? There was, I don't know. I'm not up on my rat.
No. Well.
Yeah. Who did it? She's Only 17. That awful song.
No,
was that Whitesnake? She's only 17.
Was that Warrant or White Snake?
Oh, that might be Warrant.
Yeah, I'm not too good on the glamour.
I thought that was absurd that was like, oh, I know, not only will I write She's Only 17, but I will play it and show that to people, other human beings, and not only will they think it's totally okay, it will get radio play.
But that was pretty calm for the 80s, so.
I suppose, I guess. Either way, whether I was listening to Winger or White Snake, you know what I do remember actually listening to a lot in that car, right after I got it, was Relationship of Command by, why am I blanking over? At the Driver.
Okay.
Yes,
oh boy.
That album just came out, and I was like cranking it in there. I had to use the adapter.
Little Evo.
You had the Walkman that had you put it in there, and then had the tape adapter.
Oh my god.
And I had like this Rube Goldberg machine just so I could sit in my car because I didn't have a license, but I wanted to like be just enveloped in it, and just sit there and like tinker with it and daydream. But yeah, kind of deal. Like driving is a big component of it, but
huge component.
For me, a lot of it was not the driving.
Yeah,
it's just the aesthetics and the design and the different approaches to solve the same problem that all these different manufacturers had.
Yeah, a solution to a problem we didn't even know we had a problem with. Sometimes, you know?
Yeah.
It's like we'll make a problem to solve with it. But aside from driving, like now especially, I've always been good at fixing stuff.
Sure.
So like for me, the reward right now is restoring and rescuing these cars.
Yeah.
Especially obscure cars, and I don't need a price tag to be associated with it. I just need it to be a cool car that's fun and cheap.
Yeah,
something you don't see
price
every
of
day.
entries.
And just in these cars, what happens when cars get cheap or they're just not well known is they actually do disappear because no one buys them, no one takes care of them,
You
and
can't
it's like
get
a cycle.
parts.
Yeah,
People don't want to deal with it. You know, I mean, that's ultimately how the 1114 that go on.
Oh yeah.
Ended up coming out as the original owner. She was just like, oh, it's got a coolant leak.
Yeah.
My local shop down the street says, oh, this car's too fancy for us. She didn't want to drive it down to somewhere far away because you can't go to a Mitsubishi dealership, so she got rid of it.
Yeah, and if they see a timing about water pump job estimate, they're probably like, I don't know if I need my 30-year-old car anymore. You know?
Yeah, exactly. And so stuff disappears, and then or it gets handed down to somebody that maybe doesn't know or care about the car, and it gets beaten up.
Yeah, if it doesn't have an actual value, not like we have place a value on it because we like the cars.
Right.
But if it doesn't have an actual monetary value, like
stuff gets like constructively totaled.
Yeah.
Like this Tracer LTS over here, like
Oh.
not a high-dollar car, and for most people it's just another Tracer. Oh, it's got a manual. I can't give that to my granddaughter. She doesn't want to learn how to drive a manual. Nobody does anymore, so I'm just gonna sell it on Craigslist for $1,200 or whatever, or run it into the ground and just. Oh, I'm not spending $1,000 to do my timing belt on a car that I feel is worth $1,000.
Right.
And then the engine blows up, it goes to a crusher, and that's the end of it. Or fails small here in California.
Yeah, and that's usually the end of the line too, because that gets pricey. But it's just the joy of like setting them free into the wild when I'm done. Because trust me, I have all the genetics to be a hoarder when it comes to cars.
Sure.
Like it's in there. Trust me. Like. It would be a bad situation, but I have to know, and I also like the feeling that when I let something go, it opens up space to bring something new in.
That's right.
So, letting something go, you open your heart.
That's right. Yes. I feel like there's a Frozen reference in there somewhere.
I'm talking about $1,000 turn boxes here, guys, for context. But yeah, and that's it. And then just the excitement still is there for hunting for cars.
Yeah,
I get
stumbling upon
excited.
something like, what is that? I didn't even know they made one of those.
And then you research it, and then you're like get super pumped, and then you're calling, and the whole like art of the negotiation. It's just so much fun to get caught up in that, and then to think of the ideas what you're gonna do with the car. It's just I still I'm like a little kid in the candy store when I ever open up Marketplace or Craigslist and I start thumbing through, and if I see something like really cool.
What's wild is when it's just like this happened to me the other day, and it's kind of a ho-hum car, so it's probably why I didn't really realize that they ever made one of these. But did you know that they ever made that, like, I guess it's technically the 3rd gen Nissan Pathfinder with the 5.6 liter V8 out of the Titan?
Really?
Yeah, apparently they made it from like 08 to like 2012 or something.
You think that was competing with the 4Runner when they dropped the 4.7
I think that's what it was
in there?
Yeah, but I was just like, that's a thing? Like, I just found that out like 2 weeks ago.
5.6
I was like, that exists?
That's a beefy engine. I actually drove the M56. Do you remember the car when they
those
jammed
are cool. Those are cool.
Beautiful interior.
Yeah.
Weird looking car. It kind of had a muscly, like, luxury look. It was weird.
Yeah, it was very,
I think they're still cheap if you find them.
Especially like the earlier ones where it was just like a rebadged Nissan Gloria.
Yeah.
That they brought over, so you get the M45.
Oh, that one, yeah.
Yeah, the kind of really kind of flat one with the kind of angular, like slightly convex rear. We're going off the rails.
Yeah, we're always off
the
rails.
But
that's pretty much it, man. It's like I break it down like love started the same way, as a kid into that kind of stuff. But just between driving, rescuing, like the working on cars, and then actually just buying and selling them, it's like that. I'm just absolutely hooked, and that's if I was going to explain why I'm so obsessed with cars, I would bust out those three topic areas.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of the same, just different approaches to the same thing. But yeah, or even just like a lot. I get so much joy out of like driving some random car that nobody's seen forever, and then like parking it, like or getting gas, and somebody come up like, well, I've never seen one of those in the wild, or like they just, what is that? Even something silly like the stupid little Metro convertible.
Oh yeah,
where everywhere I would go, I'd just get gobs of people taking pictures, like whatever, or with my little sandbar van, which is just comedic. Or like the lot, like with action car, most people overlook, but if someone knows what it is, they like
they
wave you down and give you a thumbs up and stuff. And this E30 here, a little clean little original car. Every one of these has been slammed and gutted and track date.
Yeah.
And so just having that stuff is there's just something fun about like keeping something on the road.
It's something special,
Yeah. So I think that's kind of the meat and potatoes of the obsession.
Part of it,
the problems.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, that's fun.
100 hours with my psychologist might add some more detail to that, but
maybe the next thing we can do here after talking about that is we can kind of do, speaking of the psychologist thing, this will be like our own little like automotive ink blot test.
Oh,
right? Where like we can spit out. We were talking about earlier about maybe talking about doing the would you rather's not it, but kind of like the marry, fornicate, kill list, but the daily, the race, and the crush, cube of molten steel game. We'll maybe spit out 3 cars and then got to figure out what are you doing? Which one are you going to daily? Which one are you going to race? And which one are you going to crush?
Yeah, and this is a good insight into how our minds work. See if we're logical at all, or see if we're just like we care for a car so much that we're going to not crush it and force ourselves to take it to a track day.
We'll tell you what then. Should I just fire one at you first?
Please do.
Okay.
Ready for it.
How about this? And I'll let you pick. There's different flavors for each one of these, and you get to choose whatever flavor.
Well, there's a lot of freedom here.
E30, E36, E46.
Oh,
daily, race, or crush.
Wow, man.
Then those are all BMW 3 Series.
Okay.
So you've got a so 84 was the earliest. That's E30 all the way up to E46 was 2005. And a convertible only, I think. I don't know.
Is that right?
I think the last year they did the convertible when overlapped with the first year, the E90. Either way.
I gotcha.
Yeah. So you get to you get to race one, daily one, and crush one. E30.
It's sacrilege not go with the M version, is it?
You get to pick your flavor.
I know.
You can go touring. I could E30 touring.
I could. Let's see.
Diesel touring.
I think track duty.
Yes. Where do you track duty? Don't forget, you gotta crush one of them.
I know. This is tough.
Go sacrilege and crush an E30 M3. Just like piss everyone off. You can crush a sedan, but you're like, nah.
Try to take a chip out of the market.
Exactly.
Let's see here. No, I think if it's all out track. Yeah, this is kind of a stripper version. E30 M3. It's like a simple, straightforward, lightweight. I think I'd have the most fun taking that to the track, and I think it would do the most reliable repeat performances.
It could
probably on top.
Because you're low power, but good chassis.
It's a solid engine.
Yeah, you can just.
So let's say E30 M3 does the track duty.
Okay, so that's race. So which one are you driving every day?
I'm gonna daily the E46 M3 with a stick. No SMG for me, man.
Sure.
But they're pretty comfy ride. Interiors are like 5 levels above the E36 interior.
Yes.
And I love E36s, but that's getting crushed.
Yeah, I would probably do the same. You got one to throw my way?
I got a sweet one for you.
All right.
Daily Race Crush.
Okay.
PT Cruiser.
Ooh.
Chevy Equinox.
Ooh.
2003 Kia Rio.
Ooh. Well,
Have fun with that, my friend.
I have to race the PT Cruiser, I think.
Okay.
I think I'm doing race day PT Cruiser. I'm going full GT Cruiser though. It's gonna be boosted to the moon.
Oh god.
I'm gonna do all the Neon SRT4 drivetrain mods on it. Maybe go full of the era and put some like just obscene like 3-puck like clutch on it that's like undrivable. I think that's what I'm racing. I'm going to race the PT. And then,
a little too excited about racing a PT Cruiser, my friend.
Dude, if you can set that thing up though, imagine just going there and just like hanging with just some like not super elite stuff, but just like figuring out a way to just like monkey with a PT Cruiser and
I'm a dreamer, Frank, but
our
I can't even
compounds.
dream this.
Come on, we're doing it. Yeah, oh yeah, and just be absolute flogging the snot out of it.
Right.
So that's what I'm doing. I think I gotta crush the Rio.
Good call.
I think I gotta crush the you said 03 Rio?
Yeah.
Is it a Rio 5 or a standard
No, it's
Rio?
the standard.
No
worst
wagon, huh?
one, yeah.
Okay. Because the Rio 5, you got
Everything's automatic.
the wagon.
Too.
Oh,
That's what's making this challenging.
Oh boy.
So
Poor PT.
You got an Equinox.
I'll have to on the PT Cruiser. I think I'm gonna have to just like remove the air conditioning and just run the front AC condenser as a trans cooler.
Okay.
A trans cooler. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just run the tranny fluid all the way through the old condenser.
You're crushing the Equinox?
No,
or you're
I'm
daily?
I got daily the Equinox. It's sensible. You know, maybe the Rio would get better fuel economy for certain, but it's far less of a death trap.
Very Spartan interior too. Well, not that the Equinox is.
Oh, you can get
Right,
LTZ.
listen, man, you're getting
but
big
it's
small
LTZ.
automatics.
You're pushing the goalposts are moving. Although like a base model Rio probably doesn't even have AC. So
No, it doesn't have anything.
Manual steering.
I don't even think it has a tachometer. So
Exactly. Yeah. Just a hole where in the dash where the stereo option would have been.
Okay,
yeah,
I like.
That's where I'm going.
I agree with your choices. I think I mix it up a little bit. I think
You're racing that Rio, aren't you?
I'm racing the Rio because it's like a lightweight car. I think I'll have more fun with that. And I'm gonna daily also the Equinox and the PT Cruiser just because I don't ever want to work on one.
Go with the graveyard. Yeah, those things suck. Those things do suck to work on. It was like aesthetic design first, and then they're like, oh, I guess we're just gonna have to like stuff the battery under the fender liner, and we're gonna. Those things eat up ECUs because they put the ECU like directly, especially on the turbos. They put it in the engine bay like 8 inches away from the turbo.
Ridiculous.
And then all of a sudden you get all these weird electrical gremlins and stuff stops working and they won't pass smog and all this because it's like you just cook the ECU.
And the natural like size of the engine bay is just unbelievably cramped.
Yeah, it's like heart shaped and broken. Yeah, it's just stupid.
All right, man.
Well, I'm gonna throw some 2-seaters at you.
Okay. Let's see.
CRX.
Yep.
Pick your generation.
Yeah. Okay.
MR2. Pick your generation, I suppose.
Oh, you're leaving too much open for me.
Miata.
Oh.
Just NA.
Okay.
NA Miata. You know, let's do this. 2nd gen CRX, 1st gen MR2, 1st gen Miata. Daily race crush.
Daily. I'm gonna go with CRX.
Okay.
I like the functionality of the Honda, reliable.
You go SI, you go HF?
What, 1.6 dual overhead cam?
60 miles
Yeah, HF, but the HF's like a stripper model though, so that's the trade-off. I'd go with the SI, I'd get a nice clean one. I love those. That 1.6 dual overhead cam is nice.
Yeah.
So I'd go with that as my daily. Race, Miata.
Sure.
Easy one for me. It's rear wheel drive, it's front engine rear wheel drive, easy layout, easy mods.
Yeah.
Nice car. Oh, I gotta crush an MR2.
It sounds like you don't have to.
Yeah, I'll crush an MR2.
You don't have to. Okay.
I like it. That's a toss-up, but I don't think I'd like living with the MR2 daily versus the CRX. I think the CRX edges it out as a daily.
Fair.
For me.
That's fair. I think the CRX is certainly easier to work on a day-to-day basis than an MR2.
Reliable, possibly.
They're both probably about as reliable, but just everything is just more
all the
shitty
maintenance is
working
double.
on the MR2
at the time. Yeah.
I like it. I think I would daily. I would bear that cross. I would daily the MR2. I'd get a supercharged MR2.
Yeah, nice.
And you can get those with like leather and kind of more upscale-y.
You could.
Not that I need all the accoutrements. I mean, ultimately it's late 80s Toyota, so
right.
it's not going to be a Bentley. But I think I would do that. And I think between the CRX and the Miata for track day, I think I got to crush the CRX.
Yep.
And I would hate to crush. It would be
That'd be tough.
It'd be just a low grade one. I'm not crushing an SI.
There you go.
But yeah, and I think I'd have to track day the Miata.
Okay.
Although, I mean, really, I don't think there's a wrong answer in any of that, because any of those you can easily daily or track.
Okay.
Possibly crush. But that's okay. Those are good.
Good.
You got another one for me?
Oh, let's see here. Let's go early '90s Honda. So I've
early
got
90s Honda. Okay.
So all of these are from the early '90s Honda segment.
Mm-hmm.
You have an Integra GSR, the early '90s.
Okay.
You have an Acura Legend Coupe manual.
Okay.
And you have.
Do we get to pick the generation on these?
No, these are all the early '91. So whatever was running in like 90 to '92.
Okay.
So you've got
Fair.
Acura Legend Coupe manual.
Yep.
CRX SI. Those three. Daily race crush.
Boy, I mean, I think I got here's the thing. Because you didn't specify. Well, I would have a real problem crushing that second gen Integra GSR. Because they sold, I don't know what I think like 5,000 for North America
rare.
or something.
Yep.
Super uncommon, really cool car. They're really light. So I think those are even though they're down a couple of ponies from the third gen, they're so much lighter. I think they're quicker than the later GSRs.
Great gearbox too.
I think I would have to, and I hate to crush the CRX again. I think I got to do it, man.
Okay.
Because I would have to track. You have to track the GSR.
Oh, absolutely.
And you kind of have to daily the Legend.
Ooh, what a daily.
That's it. And then I have to crush the CRX again.
Because the CRX really doesn't like hang with the Legend's comfortable interior
Correct.
features.
Yeah, unless you're putting an absolute premium on fuel economy for your daily.
Yeah, true.
I mean, yeah, and I think those Legends are cool. They
Yeah.
always look good. They're comfortable.
This is a tough one. This
Yeah, it is.
pretty awesome Honda.
It is, but I think ultimately the correct answer is you daily the Legend, you crush the CRX, and because you can't crush the Integra, you just can't.
No.
So that's going to be the track monster. Although that would be fun to keep like bone ass stock in daily.
Oh heck yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yep, I'm with you 100%. So you did get the right answer.
There we go.
Because we agree.
That's right. That's how this works.
What do you got?
Oh boy. So I was thinking about. There's a couple of like quote unquote big threes.
Ooh.
You know, whether it's I'm gonna kind of flip the script though, but I want to stay in that same early '90s era.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go IROC Camaro. So manual V8 Camaro. Fox body GT Mustang.
Oh,
Okay.
Yep.
Or the kind of the odd man out, but I'm going to throw into this, is going to be a Mark III Supra Turbo.
Oh.
Because I would love to throw in a Dodge offering to really go like the full, but there kind of wasn't, unless I'm going to go, because even I would do like an RT Dakota or something. That's a little too incongruent.
Yeah.
Because you know. The Daytona was not a true. It's too much of an odd man out. I think the next closest to those three would be the Mark III Supra Turbo.
Yeah.
As far as power, weight, size,
More of a
layout.
GT.
A little bit more, yeah, a little heavier, a little more luxurious,
More techie.
a little bit more techy.
Oh, that's tough.
But that's what are you doing? You got the IROC Camaro, you got the Fox body Mustang GT or LX. It's up to you,
man.
Or the Mark III Supra Turbo.
So I'm gonna, you know what? For the daily Supra.
Okay.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Way nicer interior. Way more comfortable.
Sure.
Damn, this is tough.
Head gasket's always a concern with the Mark III Supra.
Yeah, there's gotta be something.
Yeah. Is it weird that I feel like out of that group, the Toyota's probably the least reliable?
I think you're actually, well, we are talking about like a Mustang GT Fox body, not like an SVO.
Correct.
Because an SVO might supersede.
Yeah, that might be. Yeah. As far as
but let's say, you know what? I'm gonna track the IROC.
Ooh.
I'm gonna pick it over the Fox body.
Poor Fox body.
GM put all that cute. They put so much focus on handling with the IROC package. I mean, it's the International Racing Champions.
That's right.
Exactly. You gotta race a car, right? So yeah, and it's a manual, and those are hard to find. So I think my IROC does track duty. I think I daily the Toyota Supra and love that.
Yeah.
And then unfortunately, that sucks. Unless we're talking like unless the Fox body was like a Cobra or a Cobra R. I don't think you're giving me that much.
No, we're not going to go any like super limited. We're going to like a GT. It's going to be a GT.
Yeah, Fox body gets crushed, man.
All right.
How about you? Right back at you.
I would do. Really, the only changes I think I would flip flop the Fox body and the Camaro.
Yeah,
you kind of have to. Although, depending on the type of racing you're doing, if you want you can turn any of those into a drag.
Either one.
Because it'd be fun to race that Supra. But I think I'd have to daily. I think I'd have to daily the Supra. You got leather. You got a target top.
Yeah.
You got all that fun stuff. And then I think the poor IROC would get cubified.
Fair enough. Yeah, it's a tough call.
Yeah.
It's a tough one.
You got any other ones? You got one more?
Oh, I've got one for you, my friend.
Ooh.
These are three super enthusiast focused cars.
Okay.
So this is not going to be easy.
Oof.
Lotus Elise.
Okay.
Cayman S from the first gen.
Okay.
And an E46 M3.
Boy.
Which we probably give 5 stars to each of these cars. So.
Oh yeah. So we're looking. So Cayman. Boy, it would be tough to just like crush any of these. I think the Cayman. So here's the thing. It's really tempting to say Cayman S as a daily.
Yes.
Because that would be a killer daily. Maintenance a little high, but maintenance on all of these is a little.
I think there's more of a myth around the Cayman maintenance, but
fair. I think I have to. For me though, I need a back seat in my daily because I have a child. So I think I have to, by default, I would have to daily the E46. Then it comes down to track day.
Okay, without taking the child into context, if this was just the car you needed,
if the child is like crushing into a cube,
well, the child can you can pull like a trailer behind or something.
Yeah, it's like a roof rack.
You still keep your regular vehicles.
Which you got it. Okay, so yeah, childless daily. If I'm childless dailying, I'd probably, you know what, I hate to say it, I'd probably have to crush the BMW.
Yeah?
I probably have to crush the BMW. I cannot in good conscience crush an Elise.
No.
It would be the easiest to crush though, because it's basically...
It'd be an extra small cube.
It'd be like crushing an aluminum can. So I think I have to track the Elise.
Yeah.
I think I have to... Boy, do I daily the Cayman though? I'm changing it all. I'm crushing the Cayman, and I hate to say it. I'm crushing the Cayman. I'm still gonna daily the BMW, I think.
Okay.
I think I'm still gonna daily the BMW, and yeah, maintenance and all those things. But I've always just really liked. That's probably my favorite looking.
You said that.
M3.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm doing. I'm crushing the Cayman. Goodbye, Cayman. I am dailying the E46, and I am track daying the Lotus.
Solid.
What's your thought on this?
So similar. I think the Lotus automatically, it's the most pared down, straightforward design.
Yes.
Purpose built. So at least it hits the track, even though the Cayman S on track is pretty gnarly. Daily the Cayman, because you can get it with a PDK or an automatic. But
no SMG.
No, God. The Cayman's interior is way nicer. It's a good place to sit actually, and they are pretty solid cars. And then the E46, gotta crush it.
Yeah.
All three of those cars are like winners, but I think if it came down to like a Cayman S and an E46 M3.
I wonder where those are production numbers. Like, what did they make more? A Cayman S or E46 M3?
Probably more M3s, I'd say.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh boy.
I think there's a lot of them. You're talking worldwide, or I always think like Porsche's numbers never compared to like BMW's sport numbers.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to. That'll be an off.
Yeah.
That'll be an off.
Like we're talking like 987 one generation Cayman S. Yeah, I'd be curious to see. But I think more M3s for sure.
Right.
And definitely lower than both probably. Well, in Europe there were like a million different flavors of the Elise, right? So you could get like a pretty tame engine, and then in the States, in the States for sure the Elise is the rare one.
Yeah. Yeah, and I have to assume all the way across the board that they sold the least amount of those.
Probably. Yeah, probably.
Very cool. Is that it? I don't have any. I'm out unless you got one more you want to like bonus me real quick.
I mean, I kind of want to give you a bonus.
Bonus.
The Icon matchup.
Ooh, okay. Icon me.
So Acura NSX. First gen.
Ooh, I thought about doing these. Okay.
Mazda RX-7 twin turbo. Toyota Super Turbo.
Yeah.
There you go, buddy. Daily race crush with the Icons.
No Nissan. No.
I had to pick three.
Yeah. I know. I thought about doing all that, but I almost didn't want to throw the NSX in. I wanted to leave that one because it's a little. Yeah. I don't want to say it's not fair, but I think I have to.
Well, different price point for sure.
It's impossible. The wrong answer for the daily is the RX-7. I think. I think that's the wrong answer.
Okay.
As far as I think that's the least. It's certainly far and away the least reliable. It gets the worst fuel economy.
Right.
It's you can argue that it's the prettiest.
It's a good looking car.
God, I hate to crush it though.
This is what's challenging. Every one of these is iconic.
Yeah, you kind of can't crush any of these. That's the one I think that's the most crushable. And I must say I hate it because that's one of the prettiest cars I think ever produced. I think I am. If I want to turn, I'm tracking the NSX and I'm dailying the Supra. If I want to go ludicrously fast in a straight line, I'm dailying the NSX and I'm tracking the Supra just to go like, watermelon size single turbo poking through the hood, swallowing small animals as you are just
that's
doing an 8,000 RPM clutch dump. So I think realistically though, I'm dailying the Supra and I'm going to track the NSX.
Ooh.
And the poor RX-7 gets crushed into a cube.
Wow. Tough choice, Dad. You had to make it.
And are you just going to hold your secrets, or are you going to show your car? Are you going to show your hand?
You know what? It's really tough. I think I'm going to mix it up a little bit.
Sure.
Daily NSX, because they did have a very I had a '93. And it had a very livable interior, very comfortable, ergonomic, very easy.
It's a Honda.
Visibility is fantastic in
a
that
Honda,
vehicle.
Yeah.
And it's like you said, I'm putting mileage on a, reliable engine.
Yeah.
I feel good about that, and I love driving it. Track the RX-7.
Yeah.
Because the RX-7 dynamically, and this
Really?
I've heard a lot of Acura NSX fans is. It's almost better balanced in a sense because it's lighter weight. It is turboed, so there's a potential to make huge power.
The engine's in the firewall.
We can talk about rotary reliability, but this is your track car, so it is what it is. And they were wonderful performers. I mean, great car.
Yeah.
And then the Supra, and I just gotta crush the Supra.
It's just crush $150,000 real quick.
I mean, we're not. That's the problem, is not getting caught up in current market value.
Sure.
I think that's what I do. I think I keep the NSX for daily duty, which is first time you get a rock chip.
Yep.
But then the RX-7, that's my track weapon.
Yeah.
For sure.
Things to consider: an LS swapped RX-7 as your daily.
Oh boy. Oh, that took a turn. Yeah, that's pretty good, man. That was pretty fun. I'm sure we can come up with some more of those.
Yeah, we should definitely. We'll keep that one in our back pocket for later. Those are fun. And one day, when you were talking about the NSX, it makes me want to realize that we just need to spend a day talking NSX, new NSX. Did they get it right? Did they get it wrong?
Oh,
is the hate warranted?
That's a conversation.
We don't have enough time here for that sort of business.
But what we do have time for, my friend, is our automotive print quiz ad game.
I'm ready. I'm juiced.
You really ready?
I'm ready. I'm already ready already. Come at me, bro.
So guys, this is I don't think we have this named yet, this segment, but it is going over an 80s, 90s, or early 2000s automotive print ad from a magazine. I think they used to refer to these things as the static internet.
That's right.
So I'm going to read the article, omitting anything that gives it away. Frank is going to try his damnedest to guess what vehicle I am talking about.
feel good. I feel good, baby.
He'll
Feels great, baby.
He'll get some hints as I see him struggle, but let's go to this. Okay, so vehicle is in the bottom center of the image, taking a corner.
Ooh.
It then has a picture of the vehicle, kind of like a blueprint, like a floor plan blueprint almost, with all these special points to different parts of the car.
Got it. Okay.
So we're going to talk about some technology. So
Okay.
the main line is, in the time it takes to read this headline, blank can do 10 million things.
10 million.
10 million.
Sounds very computer controlled. Carry on, my friend.
There isn't even an asterisk, so we'll have to qualify that later. So we'll do the information part later.
Cool.
Here we go. It hardly seems possible, but blank has a network of as many as 55 data sensors and up to 7 onboard computers that can process 2 million pieces of information per second.
Boy, information superhighway.
It is in your car. It's clever enough to select shift points for optimal fuel economy, turn off interior lights if a door is left ajar, and even maintain the inside temperature you want with available automatic temperature control.
Okay.
It's amazing when you stop and think about it. But then, Blank's computers work so quickly and efficiently, you probably never will. So here's your detail part, and it's all bulleted, which is kind of cool.
Oh,
so
nice.
you get standard driver and front passenger airbags.
Okay.
There you go. Hang your hat on that. That's your first bullet point.
Yeah.
Available anti-lock brakes and traction control.
Okay.
Available integrated child safety seat. So a little hint there about the layout of the vehicle. Available speed-sensitive steering. Standard rear seat heat and air ducts. That's something.
Okay.
Standard air conditioning with available automatic temperature climate system, which they've already mentioned twice, so it's got to be good.
Yeah.
Standard 4-wheel independent suspension.
Okay.
Here's your big one. Available with a 3.5 liter V6 24 valve overhead cam.
Okay.
3.5. Frank?
Yeah.
What vehicle are we talking about today?
Boy. So the big thing there is the 3.5 liter. It's not a super common size engine. Mitsubishi Montero comes to mind. I think they had the 3.0, they had the 3.8. I think a 3.5.
Did they?
Doesn't matter. Independent 4-wheel. So that's off the table. Whole bunch of various sensors. If it's choosing shift points for you, then that means it's shifting itself. So we've got an automatic transmission equipped vehicle, available ABS, available traction control. What's got 3.5? I can't think of any Mazda with a 3.5. I can't think of any Toyota product with a 3.5, and at least not in the 80s, 90s, or early 2000s. Because later, the same motor that's in the Lotus Evora 2 new. I can think of a couple of Honda products, but that's like Odyssey. That's like Pilot. I don't think that's where we're at. Domestic. What's tough is I got no hint on like how many doors does it have.
Well,
does it, or did it say?
I don't think it said that, but it did say rear heated seats,
Sure.
integrated child safety seats.
Sure.
That's kind of.
With the integrated child safety seats, it made me initially think of something like a Volvo V70 or 850, but those aren't 3.5. V6, 24 valve. It almost sounds like it could be. I don't think it's a Chrysler product. 3.5. That's hanging me up. So for the sake of not sitting here mumbling to myself the entire day away, I'm going. Door ajar. You know what? I don't think this is it, because it doesn't sound fancy enough, but I'm going to go with BMW 535. No, wrong. I take that back because it said V6, didn't it?
Make sure I read that correctly. Available 3.5 liter V6.
V6. Okay, so that's
you were going to go 535i.
I was going to go E34 or 535i, but that's off the table at this point. It's gotta be. You know what? Chrysler Sebring. I'm gonna say Chrysler Sebring, and I think I'm very wrong, but I need to get something out of my body, some words out.
Chrysler Sebring is a solid guess, but not a correct one.
Okay.
I don't think the Sebring was ever offered with an engine like that. They had I think they had.
That seems like the Avenger era one.
I think it came with. Yeah, but that was a small. The Avenger even had a 2.5 V6. Remember? Or 2.8.
Did
a 2.8, I think.
Was it 2.7? Whatever, a 2 something. I know
It's
they had
smaller.
small. I was thinking they had a big one in the earlier cars, like that Dodge Avenger. You can get the coupe, and then you can get the sedan. I don't know.
The later
Either way, it's wrong.
Yeah.
I need a hint desperately, my friend.
You need a hint? Okay.
I do. I was feeling so good going into this.
Well, you're not like horribly off. Like it's definitely like. Want me to give you? Let me.
Did we ever figure out what that asterisk was?
Which one?
The one.
Oh, there wasn't one when it said it could do 10 million things.
Oh, okay.
That was it.
Factual thing, right?
Yeah, I don't know. My hint is, and this is, should I give you a big hint, or do you want your big hint for your last hint? If you don't get it this time,
probably save it.
Save it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Give me.
So I'm going to give you your hint this time. It is indeed a sedan. So it's not a crossover. It's not a van. It's not a truck.
Okay.
So now you're narrowed down.
Yeah. Just with the independent, there weren't a whole lot of minivans and crossovers that had independent rears back in that
Back
day.
to when you think this ad's from.
With a 3.5 in it. Yeah.
So,
3.5 is the 24 valve. You said dual overhead cam, or just a
overhead cam.
Overhead cam. So that's definitely a single overhead cam.
Yep.
I'm gonna go. I know GM had some 3.5s, and it's a sedan. Available ABS. When I think of ABS and like call outs and stuff, I'm thinking Pontiacs. I'm thinking the ABS.
Where you get a badge
and stuff. Yeah, you get a whole badge
too.
Right. I'm thinking Illumina. I'm thinking Chevrolet Celebrity Euro Sport.
Oh, those are nice.
I think those are 3.4s though, or 3.1s.
3.1s, yeah.
I'm going to go with Pontiac Bonneville. Wait. I don't know. I know that they had the 3.8 in the Bonneville forever. You know what? I'm just gonna keep a Pontiac then. I think I'm gonna go Pontiac Grand Am.
Ooh.
I'm gonna go like a late 90s, early 2000s Pontiac Grand Am. Because I know some of the later ones you can get with the 3.5. I don't know if they're overhead cam now. That's what's gonna kill me. I'm doing it. I'm just gonna say Pontiac Grand Am.
Pontiac Grand Am is also, we're in the ballpark, man. But the Grand Ams were offered with 3.1s for the 90s.
And then they had a 3.4, right?
3.4.
Okay, I thought you could then a little bit later.
3.5s, you could get it, but they called the vehicle something different at that time.
Aha!
The G6.
Sure,
So,
okay.
and that's off of our spectrum of time. So.
Yeah, that'd be a very, very possibly newest.
So I want to get you there. So I've got a hint. If you don't think it's good enough,
okay, I got a couple of directions.
Yep, 3 versions means 3 different brands.
Got it. Okay, so I'm looking at 3 different brands.
Not different trim levels.
Same vehicle.
Same vehicle.
Rebadged, some heavy-handed badge engineering. that was a 3.5.
Right. Sedan.
It has to be GM.
We're getting narrowed right now.
It has to be GM because I don't think Chrysler had anything that went 3 brands wide other than like the Caravan, which we've established it's not. So I'm gonna push Chrysler out of the kiddie pool. There aren't other manufacturers that have 3 brands. I mean, Ford, Lincoln, Mercury, but I don't think we're going like Mercury Zephyr or anything nonsense like that, like some Ford Fusion stuff. I think that's a little bit too new. Computer control stuff is they wouldn't be talking about available ABS line stuff. It's got to be General Motors. But the 3.5. I think what else came in the 3.5. For the 3.5, so you had Chevy, Buick, Oldsmobile
at the time. Well, that was up until what, the mid 2000s. So yeah,
right.
Fair game for what we're doing.
Yeah, because I don't think the Lumina got the 3.5. Well, it's not the coupe. Lumina, Beretta. Corsica, those were all 3.1 cars.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I kind of have three shots at it, right? 3 grand. You have 3 shots.
You have to get the right one.
Oh boy,
I'd let it slide if you get either of the 3. I'd let it slide.
I don't think it's Grand Prix. I'm just gonna say Pontiac Grand Prix. I don't think it's right, but I gotta go with it. I gotta follow my heart.
Pontiac Grand Prix. Okay. I do want to correct you on one thing.
Sure.
Chrysler did have a 3 vehicle lineup at this time. The Stratus.
The cloud cars. Yeah, the cloud cars. But you can get those with a 3.5, could you?
It's not this one. This is another 3 car. You're gonna kick yourself because this was.
Oh, you know what? I think I just got it.
I didn't want to say
that.
I
think I just got it.
You want to get an honorable mention in?
Is this gonna be the 300M?
Close.
It's one of the other stables, LHS Concorde.
In the time it takes to read this headline, Intrepid can do 10 million things.
Yeah.
The Intrepid, the Concorde, and the Eagle Vision.
The Vision. I completely forgot about Eagle because I'm sitting there like Plymouth. I didn't think.
You blew off a lot of badge engineering on this one, Frank.
I did.
You forgot the cloud cars and.
Cloud cars.
I thought if you got the cloud cars,
2.5.
I think if that you would have thought of the cloud cars, you would have jumped up to the bigger version of the cloud cars.
Yeah, 3.5.
Because the Concorde was the bigger C-Brain, so you were so close.
Yes.
And then obviously you were playing around with Pontiac, which had GM was close, but this was
the stuff. The GM is tough because you had the 3.1, you had the 3.4, you had the 3.5, you had the 3.8. There was a 3.6 in there somewhere. I think that was later though.
Yeah, the Bonnies were all 3.8s.
Those were all 3.8s. Yeah, that's why I was thinking Bonnie, and I was like, no, those are all 3.8s. And then the 3.5 stuff was just later because that was like you had the.
I thought you were going to grab this right when I said there's 3 exact. Because there's only I think there's only a few of those being sold during our time period where it was 3.
And it's that first gen Intrepid.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's it. It's the new Dodge Intrepid. This ad's from I think it came out in 93. Some notes, car and driver, 10 best for its first 2 years, or 2 years of production.
Yeah.
It was a good car when it came out, and they did talk about tech a lot. Remember, it had sensors for eventually they had rain sensors for the windshield wipers, all kinds of silly stuff.
Yeah, I'm trying to think because they had so you had the Vision, you had the Intrepid, and then you had the Concorde.
Yep.
But then also the LHS was basically the same car too, right?
Similar. Yep.
I think it had different bumper covers or something.
The 300M was about
and then the 300M was the same thing too. That was the second gen. But it's at one point Chrysler had 3 cars that were identical within their same nameplate.
That's
within Chrysler.
You would have grabbed cloud cars because they were the ones that did the most badge engineering with Mitsubishi too at the time. So I figured you were going to grab it. So close, my man.
Oh well.
Chrysler Sebring. You were there.
The Chrysler Sebring.
Yeah. Let me show you the ad.
Ooh. What do we got?
So it pretty much has an Intrepid.
Oh yeah.
And has all the specs on the side there and some general stuff. So Pretty cool ad, but yeah, in the early 90s, the Intrepid actually made a splash. Also, all I remember from when this vehicle came out is how they talked about how wide it is.
Right.
That was the biggest thing. Like, it handles so much better. It's so much safer in the rain.
Exactly.
That's that.
It's all about width. But that was the same with the Grand Prix.
Same
Right? They
thing.
had the whole like the wider is better, like the wide track Grand Prix.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
For confidence in all weather.
Exactly.
Yeah, good times.
All right. Well, you stumped me.
Finally had it.
I thought that was a good one.
Yeah,
The specs were right. It's just tough because it didn't. I mean, you nailed down for me with the sedan, but it was just like it could have gone so many different directions.
Could have, yeah.
Such a 3.5, such like a just.
It's weird, but if you knew it, because the Dodge was the only one running an engine that big, and that's a pretty beefy engine. I think it had like over 200 horsepower, which was cool for the early 90s.
I knew someone that had one of those 300Ms. They got it. It's like a hand-me-down grandpa or something. So it was like incredibly nice. It was like really low miles, like 30,000 miles on it. It's actually a decent car.
What a big difference
bolted together well
between that and the next generation of that car.
Oh, I know.
Especially
what a difference between like the demo that drives those cars.
Oh yeah,
The 300M versus the 300C, or not even the Hemi C was actually okay. It was all the ones like the base spec 2.7 liter. Like rental spec with the wheel covers that would like always be dragging a bumper and.
Are you trying to tell me the drug dealers didn't drive the first gen as much?
No.
Oh,
no. It was just
Never know.
What are you up to in the garage?
Oh man,
what kind of PCP are we doing?
We do some PCP. I think it's going to be the slow and not very effective PCP today, but
sure.
Recovering like we talked about in the last episode. So small stuff, doing a lot of body work on the Tracer LTS.
So off frame.
Yeah, it's sanding, correcting, filling, very little filling, just rock chips, and then priming and putting some fresh paint on it. 260,000 miles has scorched this Mercury. The delicious paint from this world.
Brilliant.
So. Just doing some body work. Still, I got the water pump in the BMW, and we're tying up some things there. So, gonna put the timing belt back on. Got a couple more seals to do, valve cover, but we'll get that when I get the use of my right hand back.
Good.
So,
yes,
that's the plan. How about you, man? What kind of projects?
Not a lot. I was doing the whole hanging home with the COVID thing. So now that ship has sailed, I've been busy trying to just get caught up back on some work stuff. I've got like a whole bunch of photo shoots I had to push off, so I'm playing catch up. I'm going to do one right after we're done here today. I've got more tomorrow. I've got more the day after. I did just the other day when I was able to go back out in the wild. Had a photo shoot on an '87 Carrera, really nice car, marina blue, palomino interior.
Ooh.
Not perfect, but an excellent driver car.
Perfect.
Paint and body are nearly perfect. Interior's nearly perfect. 154,000 miles. As I was imaging it, I took it out to Mare Island, which is this closed down Navy base. And there's some stuff on the old base, close in the 90s, so it's had plenty of stuff to develop. And so I'm sitting there taking pictures. And there's a guy that I bumped into there before, the one spot where I shoot the car. He's got like right around the corner, he's got a BMW shop. And so he came in by an U46 wagon. And we were talking, right? He said, "Oh, hey, cool, and hadn't seen you in a while." He remembered me, and so we were talking for a minute, and I had mentioned this here D30.
Sure.
And he's like, "Oh, I got a parked car, one of those. I'll be right back." And so he just went around the corner. 10 minutes later, as I was taking photos, he came back with a full, because I had mentioned, I asked him if he had a stereo that he could sell me. He's like, "Oh, I do, but I kind of don't want to sell it. Like, I've got another car, I'm going to put it in. And they're hard to find." I was like, "I know, that's why I'm asking." But I had also then mentioned we needed the floor jack, and so he just gave me the floor jack. Here you go, man, just have it.
What
He was
are
like,
the
the car
chances?
sits out in the trunk. It's been closed in the trunk. It's in nice shape. It's not rusty. It's in good shape. He put it in a little baggie for me, so like I put it like get grease on this client's car of mine that I was shooting.
Yeah.
And so huge. So big shout out to, I don't remember his name unfortunately, but he's with I believe it's Golden State Automotive. In Vallejo, California.
We can call him Jack.
We could call him Jack. Exactly. Good old Jack. So that was some progress on this project car.
Cool.
Otherwise, I did a little bit more stuff on the photo booth. I bought a flat screen for it. I got some other stuff on order, so it'll get mounted. but that's getting close to the finish line. I got some vinyl graphic stuff in order, on order for it. That should be back soon. And that's it. That's all the PCP I've been doing. Limited because of the health concerns have really limited my PCP intake.
Even a little hit of PCP gets us through the day, I guess.
That's true. Yeah, Mom's a little helper. So I think that's all we've got for today.
Another one of the books?
Yeah, buddy.
All right.
Next time, when we do the next episode, maybe we'll have results on the Daytona. Maybe we won't. I don't know. But we'll have to play that by ear.
Yes.
And then we're going to have, we're just going to keep doing this thing. Keep having fun.
Yeah, well, thanks for listening and
Yes.
following along. And check us out on the tubes, on the grams, and everything else out there.
Yeah, buddy.
All right. Thanks a lot, guys. See you next time.
Bye.
Take care.